Game show taking your calls. 888-546-4620. Now your host, Tom Krasnicki.
Oh, my goodness. The Buccaneer playoff hopes took a big hit tonight as the Dallas Cowboys win at 26-24 in what was a physical, hard-fought football game, but filled with mistakes by the Tampa Bay side as they fall to 8-7 on the season. The Falcons were the big winners today with a win, and now Buccaneer loss, and now both teams tied for first in the NFC South with 2 weeks to go. The Falcons have the advantage. Welcome in. It is the Overtime Show. TKras, Tom Krasnicki with you. Derek DeBose on the ones and twos, and we are live 95.3 on the FM side, the mighty AM 620. Download the new and improved iHeartRadio app. You can listen to us from anywhere in the civilized world through the app. It is a big thing, so get on it. And we're streaming the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X at 953 WDAE and AM 620. Like and subscribe all day, every day. This is going to be a tough one to swallow for a lot of different reasons. This was hard to watch at times. It was a very physical game. And I'm just a little confused right now as to who was playing for what. That is the theme of the opening drive or the opening round, whatever the hell it's called. Hit it.
The game is final. Here's the first word. Presented by Moss Nissan. Live on Overtime.
Opening round presented by Moss Nissan. And I'm trying to figure out one thing. And maybe somebody can fill me in on this. If you were watching this game tonight and you had to guess which team was playing for a playoff spot, which team was playing with a sense of urgency, and which team was playing for nothing. Because it sure hells looked like it to me that the Dallas Cowboys were the team that was physical, that wanted it more, that was playing for something, even though earlier today they were eliminated from playoff contention. And the Buccaneers looked like the team that was 6-8 and playing out the string. The Cowboys wanted this game more. And all you got to do is look at the two game-changing plays. Jordan Lewis, the interception in the end zone where he took it away from Jalen McMillan. And then right there at the end, Rachaad White had it ripped out of his hands by DaRon Bland. And maybe the playoffs get ripped out of the Buccaneers' hands too in the process. My goodness, Baker Mayfield showed his toughness tonight. That dude took a beating, an absolute beating. And he did all he could to extend that play right at the end. He flips it to Rachaad White, who gets it wrestled away by DaRon Bland. Come on. Where's the sense of urgency? Because I didn't see it tonight. For a team that had everything to play for in the Buccaneers against a team that had nothing to play for. Nothing. The opening thought presented by Moss Nissan, their goal is to never lose your business over price. We're taking your calls on the Bates Electric DA listener line, 888-546-4620. You can text in your thoughts at 82945. A bitter pill to swallow for the Buccaneers as they lose in Dallas to the Cowboys 26-24. Where it went wrong. And I tell you, there's a lot of blame to go around. And the head coach is going to get some of it too, and I'll explain why coming up next.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at EnduranceWarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-431-8958. That's 800-431-8958.
Your business is HVAC, and you want to grow that business while providing the very best in service. Instead, you're struggling under a pile of administrative tasks. ServiceTitan is here to help. With our all-in-one solution for the trades, we've made managing all of your business needs, from scheduling to invoicing, easier than ever. ServiceTitan, giving you the time and the tools you need to keep your company running smoothly. Learn how ServiceTitan helps manage your business at ServiceTitan.com. ServiceTitan.com.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. 888-546-4620. On the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the free iHeartRadio app.
The Overtime Show is on the air after a crushing loss by the Buccaneers. Cowboys beat them 26-24 in Dallas, dropping the Bucs to 8-7 on the season. You know what? This team is not ready for prime time. Don't put this team on prime time because I can't stand it anymore. You think I want to sit here at 2 in the morning talking to a bunch of complainers? 2 in the morning. They're 0-4 in primetime. Don't put them on primetime at all. Nobody wants to see this team under the lights. They're not ready for it. Well, it screws up our, routine during the day. That's okay. You'll have plenty of 1 o'clock games next year. Don't worry about it. I'll petition the league if I have to. No more primetime games. Because they stink. 0-4 in primetime. That's it. No more. Put them on at 1 o'clock. It makes life easier for everybody, including the Bucs. They like 1 o'clock games. They're the opposite of freaking Dracula, okay? They don't come out at night. They like it better during the day. They're Day of the Living Dead, not Night of the Living Dead. And their playoff hopes, they're not dead, but now you flip a coin because the Falcons now have the advantage. Now they control their own destiny, and now the Buccaneers need help with 2 weeks ago. And by the way, who's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys? Did I miss the memo? Is it Troy Aikman? Is it Tony Romo? It wasn't Dak Prescott, the highest paid player. Was it Roger Staubach? No. Some guy named Cooper Rush who tried to give the ball back to the Buccaneers with 2 minutes left. And J.J. Russell showed why he plays defense and nothing else. Right there in your hands. The Buccaneers had this game in their hands, despite the fact that they were out-physicaled and out-hit and out-maneuvered. They had it. And they had it ripped away twice, once by Jordan Lewis, one by Deron Bland, and J.J. Russell had an interception bounce right off his chest. But I'm sure some of you, and I see the complainers here, and I see the people with 3 followers on Twitter, those, fire Todd Bowles. Why? The only reason that you can really bitch at Todd Bowles was his use of timeouts or misuse. In the first half with 54 seconds left, that's his fault. Why are you calling a timeout? You're down at the Dallas 10. Why are you giving them time? You had plenty of time. There's no reason to call timeout there. None. And that's like the only thing you could criticize them for. But the ball getting ripped away is not the head coach's fault. I'm just going to warn you right now that my patience is thin. The fuse is very thin. So you better land the son of a bitch. That's what I'm saying. You better land it. You better be really interesting. go to AJ in Lakeland. He'll kick us off on the Overtime Show. What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. TKras. Good evening. Merry Christmas. Oh, my goodness.
Same to you, my friend.
You hit it right in the head. I was gonna say something about the timeout with 54 seconds left. Like, why are you calling a timeout there? That kicker can hit it from the freaking parking lot. You don't call a timeout. You let it run down to 25 seconds, and then get the touchdown. We lost by 2. That's the game right there. But I'm not saying fire Todd Bowles. Baker, oh my goodness, he played his heart out today. He was getting hit. Nobody can hang on to the damn ball. Shepard, dropping all these balls. Like, what's going on? And now we have to rely on the Commanders to beat the Falcons, which I think they will. But now we have to rely on them for us to sniff the playoffs. But like I said, I was going to call about the timeout. You took it right out of my head, but. Merry Christmas. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you, AJ. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Sterling Shepard drops 2 balls, and then he pulls his hamstring. And you can't pin this on Baker Mayfield either. Toughness personified. That guy had the living you-know-what beat out of him tonight. They beat the literal piss out of Baker tonight. He took a beating, a big beating. 4 sacks. He got hit numerous other times. And he was still coming back for more. What a dude. He's a dude. There's no question about that. He's a dude. Keith is in Largo. Keith, you're on the Overtime Show.
Hey, buddy. I just wanted to ask you a question. In the very first drive of the game, that we went ahead and went for it instead of punting it. I just think that was a bad move because we're at Dallas, and I just don't think that's the way to get a good start. They scored 7 points on it. I'm not saying anything else. We dug our hole out of it. But, you never know, with that first drive.
I didn't have a huge problem with that, Keith, and I appreciate the phone call. Happy holidays. It was a 4th and 3 from Dallas' side of the field at the 48. And that was the play to Sterling Shepard there where he dropped it. And they turned it over on downs. Baker got blitz on 3rd and 3. I didn't have a huge problem with that. I'll tell you one thing, man. This freaking Brandon Aubrey is something else. What an incredible weapon this guy is. I mean, the minute you come off the bus, you're in freaking field goal range with this guy. Seriously. 58-yard field goal to get Dallas on the board. And then he hits from 49, 58 again, 53. The guy is unbelievable. He's the guy that no one's going to talk about in the aftermath of this one. They're going to talk about the 2 balls that were wrestled away, the Sterling Shepard drops. But Brandon Aubrey is an incredible weapon. My goodness, what a game changer. A kicker. He's a kicker, and he's a game changer. All right, more of your calls and texts coming up here on the Overtime Show. Bitter pill to swallow. And now, can the Buccaneers get help? Because now you don't control your own destiny. Now you need somebody else's help. Will they get it? We'll talk about it with you and more of your calls next.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most, getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Tampa.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Streaming on iHeartRadio and live on WDAE. Here's an Around the League update.
And it's brought to you by Root Air Conditioning, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. Well, you know what happened to the Bucs. We're going to talk more about that in a matter of moments. And now the Buccaneers need some help because their loss, coupled with the Falcons' win today at home against the Giants and Michael Penix's first NFL start, means that the Falcons and the Bucs are tied at 8-7 with 2 weeks to go. Falcons have the tiebreaker. The Cowboys were eliminated earlier today. This after the Commanders came from behind to beat the Eagles, who lost Jalen Hurts today, 36-33. Jaden Daniels with 5 touchdown passes. The Bucs' next opponent is not a pushover. The Panthers might be 4-11, but they're playing well. They knocked Arizona out of playoff contention earlier today with a 36-30 overtime win. Get reliable cooling and comfort installed by certified Root Pro partner. Go to rootacflorida.com to schedule service today. That's rootacflorida.com, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Text your thoughts to 82945 on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on Alexa.
The Overtime Show is on the air as we approach midnight here in Tampa Bay. Did the bell toll for the Buccaneers on their playoff hopes? Overtime driven by Bartow Ford. Don't go the wrong way for your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Go to BartowFord.com. They're different, and they will prove it. You're going to hear from Todd Bowles. You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield a little bit later on. Player of the game, and everything else in between. Just a frustrating loss for the Buccaneers as the Cowboys beat them 26-24. Oh, my gosh. Cooper Rush. I mean, he looked like the second coming. 26 of 35 for 292 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb on one arm, basically, with the shoulder injury, had 7 for 105. Mike Evans, 5 for 69. He only had 1 catch in the second half. And the reason why is Mike Zimmer is no dummy. He's been in this league for like 100 years. He knows, you know what? 13's not beating us, especially when you got another guy who can't catch a ball and a rookie. We're going to make this rookie make a couple of catches. And he did. Jalen McMillan had a good game, caught a touchdown. Ryan Miller caught a touchdown. But the Cowboys, I thought, really coached a good game. Mike Evans is not beating us. And he didn't. They didn't allow him to. All right, back to the phones. KZ is up in Jersey. What's going on, player?
Hey, how's it going, man? You had me nervous with your opening.
Merry Christmas. Listen, I need to alleviate myself of the holiday stress and tension, and the Bucs certainly helped in that cause here tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Man, listen, TKras, we've been doing this together for quite some time. We both knew.
I tell you, we almost as long as Mike Zimmer's been a coach, I think.
Listen, man, and we both knew in the back of our mind there was a good chance the Bucs were going to stink it up on prime time. This is what we do. And I'm not going to split the team in half and start blaming this person or blaming that person. I'm just going to say that we saw a novice offensive coordinator tonight. He couldn't make adjustments, right? He couldn't make adjustments to the blitz. Baker is Baker, right? I'm not holding Baker to Tom Brady standards, so Baker's not going to make that throw and lead McMillan, right? McMillan had to slow down for the ball, so the defender was able to catch up and take it from him. Great quarterbacks would lead him. Baker is a good quarterback. He's tough. He's got moxie. We go where he takes us. But he's not Brady, right? He's not a young Aaron Rodgers or a prime Aaron Rodgers. So you can't get into the blame game. We got who we got. We play with what we have. Our defense, contrary to what some of the fans are saying on social media, they played lights out in the fourth quarter. They did their job. They did their job with
Dallas scored 3 points in the second half.
In the second half, they scored 3 points, and they scored 12 points from a ringer.
A ringer, dude.
He's a ringer.
A ringer.
So let's be clear. You take 12 off of the 23, and that's what our defense really gave up. Our defense, with all the injuries, with missing linebackers, with missing safeties, it is what it is. The offense has to produce.
And they have to protect the ball. I mean, they had the ball ripped away twice, dude. You just can't have it.
And the last thing I'll say is, and that's when you don't have a dog, right? Rachaad White, he's a good player, but he's not a dog. Like the defender for the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, these guys are dogs. They scrappy. They have nothing to gain from winning this game, but they still going to put it on a film. And this is what we don't have at times. I still think we're going to make the playoffs. I still think it's going. I said 10 wins when we first talked first week. It'll be a 10-win season. We'll make the playoffs. I don't see Atlanta winning out. I don't. So it is what it is. But we go where our offense takes us. And for all the people calling for Cohen to be the next head coach, this is an example of a novice offensive coordinator who's good. But in game time decisions, he could not make an adjustment. That was a problem.
I just thought Dallas, and I appreciate you, my brother, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and yours, Casey up in Jersey. The Cowboys wanted more. And that is really disheartening to say because they did not play for anything. CeeDee Lamb was out there with one arm, 7 for 105. Bucs could not cover him. And on the other side, Mike Zimmer made sure that Mike Evans wasn't going to beat them. You've got to protect the ball. Rachaad White had it ripped out. Jalen McMillan had it ripped out. Could Baker Mayfield is maybe throwing it a little bit farther in front of Jalen McMillan? Perhaps. But you've got to take that ball away from him. Don't let that guy take your lunch money from you. That's exactly what happened out there. Rachaad White and Jalen McMillan, you got beaten up and you had your lunch money taken from you by two bullies. Dave is in Hudson. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Kudos to Dallas, honestly. They played, I 100% agree with you. They played like they were in the finals. The problem with the Buccaneers, I've said it from day one. Again, here I go. I sound like a record. They're very inconsistent. You don't know which team's going to show up. But however, I did say before the two road games that if they could go 1-1, that's what I felt was going to happen. I thought they're going to win the first game with the Chargers and lose to the Cowboys. It happened. Everybody, just take a deep breath. It sucks how they came out and played. Mistakes, the little mistakes. Good teams don't make little mistakes. Their attention to detail is what makes them go to the NFC championships and the Super Bowls. Our team make little mistakes here and there throughout the game, and the totality of it kills us. We finally started playing football today in the last, say, 8 minutes of the game. We need to be playing football right from the get-go, and that's from game 1 to game 17 in the NFL, not just game 1 and game 6 and game 8. We need consistency on this team, And it starts with the head coach, and it starts with the captains of this team. I'm not saying to fire the coach. Everybody knows how I feel about Bowles, but even if I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I really
well,
do,
look,
Tom,
it's going to come down to this, Dave, and I got a ton of calls, okay? You got to land it, okay? Land it. You got to be short and sweet. I got a ton of calls. I don't think the Falcons are going to win their last 2 games. They're going to lose one of them. They might lose both. So it's up to the Buccaneers, I think, to take care of their own business. Now, Carolina will play both the Bucs and the Falcons in the last 2 weeks. Carolina is not an easy win. I watched them today, and if you've watched them in the last 3 or 4 weeks, they've gotten their act together. They should have beaten the Buccaneers a couple of weeks ago. That's not going to be an easy game. Plus, after a physical game like today, you saw the Buccaneer injury report was a mile long the last couple of weeks. It's going to be a mile long coming into this one against Carolina this week. All right, more of your calls and texts coming up on the Overtime Show. Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes, and we'll go through them coming up next here on the Overtime Show.
Your brain holds all the pathways to memories, to dreams, the very essence of your human spirit. At Advent Health Brain and Spine Institute, our experts protect those pathways. With state-of-the-art technology and groundbreaking treatments, we care for the most complex neurological conditions, so you can keep moving, keep dreaming, keep being your whole self. Advent Health. Feel whole. Visit thebrainandspineexperts.com.
Hey friends, it's Sean Kelly, voice of the Gators. Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas? International Diamond Center is your destination. I love this place. IDC is the official jeweler of Gator Nation, and this season they're doing something amazing. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Pick any item and divide the price by 60, and that's your payment. It makes everything affordable. IDC showcases are fully stocked with the classics, as well as the latest one-of-a-kind fashion jewelry from world-class designers. Unique, handcrafted items you can't find anywhere else. And relax. IDC's non-commission experts will guide you, respecting your price range and offering tips on the can't-miss gifts for this season. You'll get the unbeatable value price IDC is known for. Plus, spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. This year, give the gift that sends the message of love like nothing else. A meaningful and memorable piece of jewelry from International Diamond Center. Get holiday store hours, directions, and more at shopidc.com. International Diamond Center on approved credit.
Now's the time to shop new deals at Lowe's. Get your choice of a Cobalt 8-piece standard or metric ratchet wrench set for just $39.98. That's a $60 savings. And save $50 on a Blackstone 28-inch 2-burner griddle. Was $249, now $199. Order by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Lowe's knows deals. Valid 12/19 through 12/25. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Same-day delivery on eligible in-stock items. Subject to availability. Fees vary. Details at lowes.com/same-day delivery.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Chat it up live on YouTube by searching WDAE on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
Boy, you got to hand it to the Cowboys secondary because they single-handedly, I think, stole this game from the Buccaneers. Probably not stole it, but I'll just say they wrestled it away from the Bucs. 26-24, Cowboys win. They're 7-8. The Bucs are now 8-7. 2 weeks to go, and now the Buccaneers no longer control their own destiny. And there were 3 instances tonight where these defensive backs, man, of Dallas made a huge difference. You had Jordan Lewis, who took away a ball from Jalen McMillan in the end zone. Could have been a Jalen McMillan touchdown. It would have given him his second touchdown of the game. Jordan Lewis took it away. You had Donovan Wilson. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that guy was just laying the lumber. Blitzing Baker Mayfield, slammed him down to the ground. He crushed Payne Durham on one play. He crushed Mike Evans on another play. That guy was everywhere tonight, Donovan Wilson. And then, of course, you had Deron Bland, who had 5 pick sixes last year, takes the ball away from Rachaad White right there at the very end to cinch the victory for the Cowboys. You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield. You're going to hear from Todd Bowles. We're hearing from you now on the Bates Electric DA listener line at 888-546-4620. Pablo's in St. Pete. Pablo, you're on the Overtime Show.
How you doing, Tom? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, buddy.
Merry Christmas. This is a soft team. Okay, going forward, I think they'll make the playoff. But going forward, how does this team becomes a hard-ass make-it-Bill-field team? Because otherwise, they're not going to go anywhere in the playoffs. That's my thing right now.
Well, and I don't disagree with you, Pablo, and I appreciate the phone call. I wouldn't call them a soft team. Come on. I mean, the last 4 weeks heading into today, look, they rushed for 134 yards today, the Bucs did. They rushed for 150 yards. They were playing a physical brand of football the last month. Plus, Vita Vea's, dropping in coverage, tackling people. Dallas could not run the ball at all because of Vita Vea and Kalijah Kancey and Levante David right up the middle. You call that soft? Dallas had 20 carries for 31 yards. They were averaging 1.6 yards per rush. Come on now. Ferg is in Clearwater. Ferg, what's going on?
Hey, TKras, what's going on, man? Merry Christmas to you, and not an easy job right now, obviously, 3 days before Christmas, but just wanted to mention just the last caller saying not physical. I definitely disagree. I mean, look at Payne Durham. He seems like he's twice as big as Cade Otton, and taking one shot, and he looked like he was begging to come out of the game, and Cade's been doing that all season. So kudos to Cade. Hopefully everybody has appreciation. Not necessarily a knock on Todd Bowles, but and not really the defense, but I just feel like these little decisions that get made throughout the year end up costing this team. And obviously going back to that 54-second timeout at the half ended up being, the result of the game. And I just feel like that's been peppered in throughout this season. I just want to know your thoughts. Do you think that we're here even talking playoffs right now because of Todd Bowles as a head coach in the defense, or as Liam Cohn and the offense?
Look,
Great job.
And thank you, Ferg. And it's a tough question to answer because there have been instances. Look, last week, was anybody complaining about Todd Bowles when he went after Justin Herbert, the sitting duck? You saw the Chargers, right, how they bounced back against Denver, a good team. And Herbert was great, especially in the second half of that game. But Todd Bowles made him look ordinary. Ordinary. And I think that's the thing that frustrates fans, like against good quarterbacks, against Jared Goff in week 2. He stymied him. Against Justin Herbert, he stymied him. Good defensive game plans. Kirk Cousins, only 2 good games were against the Bucs, and now he's on the bench. And then Cooper Rush in the first half today, 18 of 24 for 226 yards in the first half. Dallas had 243 total yards in the first half. You know what the Bucs were doing? They were blitzing. That's what Todd Bowles does. They blitzed a lot, and Dallas was beating the blitz. Guess what? You make adjustments. Listen, that didn't work. We're going to try this in the second half. And he mixed it up, didn't blitz as much. Dallas scored 3 points in the second half. That's it. And in the fourth quarter, the Bucs defense, as maligned as they are, they were getting a couple of 3-and-outs, and they were getting off the field. Dallas just wanted it more, and that's a problem. That is an issue. You got to play with a sense of urgency because you're playing for the playoffs, not them. Corey's in Nashville. What's going on up there, babe?
Yeah, man, we caught. I knew it once they got eliminated, man. We caught their Super Bowl effort. That's what we caught tonight. This was their playoff effort, and we played like it was week 16?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we played like it was week. We played like it was week 16. They played like it was week 20, and they were trying to win a playoff game. That's going to happen. You can get punched in the mouth on the road. And then early in the game, some things don't go your way. But like you were just saying, man, the game is about adjustments. We had a game plan coming into the game. That game plan defensively was not working. Todd made adjustments, and the defense was outstanding in the second half. The defense is the only reason why we were in the game. If the offense knew how to not shoot himself in the foot in the second half. You can blame play calling or whatever, but play calling don't get you to a 3rd and 40. That's a lack of execution. Play calling don't get the ball. And sometimes, man, we know what football is. You got on – I almost said a bad word. You got on freaking pads for a reason. What does that imply? That this is physical, right? That you need to protect yourself, that you need to be tough. That's what the pads are for, because of the mentality that has to be added on with the pads. We weren't tough in that fourth quarter. Jalen McMillan, that has to be a touchdown. You have to wrap that ball up. If you come down with both your hands on that ball, it's a touchdown. And Rashad White, I love him to death. I think we need Rashad and Bucky, and I understand why he's in the game because of pass pro in that situation. That can't happen. That DB was on the ground. He cannot take the ball from. It was just two fluky turnovers, and that's a mentality, man. We got to fix that. I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to play football. I'm going to root for them one way or another. It's always going to be go Bucs, man. We just got to get it together. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Corey. Merry Christmas to you and yours up in Nashville. I don't think the Falcons are winning their last 2 games. I just don't. Michael Penix looked good today. I watched him. He played with a lot of poise. He throws the ball better than Cousins. I mean, you can see why the Falcons went to him. Right now, he just plays the quarterback position better than Kirk Cousins, who was double clutching, wasn't confident. His arm was shot. I mean, their offense was going nowhere. Now with Michael Penix, I mean, now you can open some things up and go down the field a little bit more. And defenses, will have to account for that. But they got a difficult game next Sunday night against a Commanders team that came from behind to beat the Eagles and snap their long winning streak. Yes, I know Jalen Hurts went out early with a concussion, but they were down big and they came back. So that's not going to be an easy game. If the Falcons find a way to win next Sunday night, then they're going to take this division. That's your only hope if you're the Buccaneers. Falcons have to lose next week. Craig is in Vegas. What do you want?
I'm on. I told you, in Disneyland. I walked around the whole park watching that game.
What are you in a closet?
Tonight.
What?
Yeah.
Come out of the closet. What's the matter with you?
Hey, like Lovey said, not Tennessee ready. This team is not primetime ready. Every single time out. And like you said in the monologue, it's baffling. But I think there's one key, and I think Todd really put himself on the biggest hot seat ever, is you lose the division, you cost the Glazers money. And that's a home game. And the home games are very profitable in the NFL and the playoffs, too. And if you want to save Liam and you're worried about him, I think tonight Dallas maybe made Liam the head coach because the mismanagement of the game, again, and the Glazers they like to be in the limelight. They don't like to be embarrassed like this on prime time. And how many times on Thursday nights they get blown out? They're twice on Monday night. Now a Sunday night game. They don't like this kind of stuff. So he could win the division, and I still say there's a good chance he gets shown the door.
No, he doesn't, Craig. He's not getting fired if they win this division.
I think he does.
No, he doesn't. Based on what? How in the world are you going to justify firing a coach who in 3 years won the division all 3 years? There's no way. That's not happening.
And this coach, is this coach a Super Bowl winning coach?
Probably not.
With this young nucleus, one of the best offensive lines of football, it's an unbelievable young nucleus of players.
It is.
That they have on the
second youngest team.
They should be better than they are.
No, I don't know about that. I think, and thanks for the phone call, Craig. Come on. I think this is who they are. They lost 4 in a row. They won 4 in a row. Then they lose tonight. Maybe they'll win next week. Maybe they'll lose the week after that. This is who they are. 8-9, 9-8. This is what your Buccaneers are. Second youngest team in football. They'll show some promise. Yes, they have some really good young players. They have a really good burgeoning offensive line, which I thought, by the way, got pushed around a little bit today by the Cowboys. I would watch the injury report this week for Tristan Wirfs because he tweaked that left ankle a couple of times in that game today. I saw Coney Mount going down, and he was grimacing a couple of other times. Graham Barton, how many more high snaps do we need? Baker Mayfield's not Victor Wembanyama. How about lowering the snap just a little bit? Your quarterback's not 7'5". He's not Andre the Giant. From Grenoble in the French Alps, the eighth wonder of the world. I'm telling you, Hulk Hogan, I'm going to get you. I'm going to squeeze you, Hogan. Anything to get an Andre impression in there. All right, more of your calls and texts coming up. You're going to hear from Todd Bowles. We can't keep shooting ourselves in the foot. You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield. Player of the game next.
Your business is HVAC, and you want to grow that business while providing the very best in service. Instead, you're struggling under a pile of administrative tasks. ServiceTitan is here to help. With our all-in-one solution for the trades, we've made managing all of your business needs, from scheduling to invoicing, easier than ever. ServiceTitan, giving you the time and the tools you need to keep your company running smoothly. Learn how ServiceTitan helps manage your business at ServiceTitan.com. ServiceTitan.com.
You scaled the sheer cliff face, battling frostbite, running low on oxygen. The wind pierced your skin, and every inch was agony. You reached heights no other human had before, while getting nowhere at airport security. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling action titles on Audible.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. 888-546-4620. On the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the free iHeartRadio app.
2 weeks to go, and now the Buccaneers and their postseason hopes very much up in the air. It's like a flip of a coin. It's like a 50-50, although there's only a 10% chance of that. Welcome back to the Overtime Show. TKras, Tom Krasnicki with you. Derek DeBose on the ones and twos. Todd Bowles coming up. Baker Mayfield a little bit later on. Hopefully. Player of the game. That's all coming up as well as your game rewind. Let's go back to the phones. Otto is in Tampa. Otto on the Overtime Show. What's going on?
Hey, first of all, Merry Christmas.
Yep, same to you.
I think a lot of people need to take your advice. Go get a glass of bourbon.
Oh, yeah.
Light up a cigar.
Yeah.
And relax. Some of your callers said we don't have any dogs. Dude, I love this team. I really do love this team. Dude, we got a bunch of dogs on this team. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday. It happens. Am I disappointed? Yes. Am I going to go jump off the Skyway Bridge and walk the plank, as Mr. Clayton would, say back in the day? No. It happens, but you got to look at what we got. Okay, we what was it, week 10 or where, when Godwin got hurt? We thought we wrote the season off. Look what these guys have done and the players that have stepped up. Tampa Bay. Relax. Okay? It's not over. Atlanta has a tough game. We have tough games. Carolina's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be no walk in the park. To me, I'm scared about that game because they're getting better.
Yeah, they are.
But it's not the end of the road. Dude, Todd Bowles is a great coach. He's under Bruce Arians. The guy, he played the league. The guy's a good guy. Stop dogging on him. It's a good team. Last week, we're all high. It's like, yay, let's go. Now it's like, oh, let's fire the coach. Come on, Tampa, wake up. Like, seriously. See what's happening. See what's going on. We still got a long road. Hey, if we're going to lose a game, let's lose it now, and then let's go on another win streak. It's the NFL. Even given Sunday. Tampa, chill out. It's still 2 more games left. Yes, do we have to win the division to get in? We do. But still, what Baker does for this team, and Liam Cohen, so all of a sudden last week, Liam Cohen, he's the next NFL coach. Now he sucks? Really?
No.
Come on, guys.
It's
such an emotional ride. It's ridiculous.
It is. And look, the NFL is a week-to-week league, and thanks for the phone call, Otto. I appreciate it. I want to get to other callers, too. It's kind of getting late. You haven't noticed. This is why I hate primetime games, too. You know, the primetime thing, for whatever the story is a real thing. And I don't know if it's more mental than anything else. A lot of the guys, especially Baker Mayfield, talked about how it throws off their entire routine. You got to wait around all day. But it's also an opportunity to play under the lights in front of the whole world. I mean, if you can't get ready for a spectacle, for an environment like that, then I don't know what's going on. You can't get hyped up for a primetime game in Dallas with everybody watching and your playoff hopes on the line? Todd Bowles doesn't have to go in there and give them a win one for the Gipper or Bowles speech or Bipper speech. He shouldn't have to do that. He's a grown man. They're on social media all the time. And let me tell you, man, the narrative in the NFL changes week to week. Because all I kept hearing last week, the Eagles, oh my gosh, nobody's going to beat them. They got the best talent. They got the best team, this and that. Offensive line, defense. Now look at them. Jalen Hurts goes out with a head injury. Winning streak snapped. Now there's all sorts of questions about them. Same thing with the Lions after last week. Week to week, the narrative changes. It's amazing to me. Different storylines. Let's go to Jim in Tampa. Jimbo, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, TKras. Merry Christmas, buddy.
Same to you.
Hey, the problem that I have is not that we lost tonight, because the problem is that we were 4-6, and you had to win out. Okay, that's the problem. And I'm not tonight. Hey, 2nd and 4 early in the game, and you're throwing. I didn't. Liam. Had a bad night too. But I don't think he's going to leave. Even if the Bucs win the division, they score 40 the last 2 games, and they win a playoff game. They're not going to fire Bowles. No way. But they will find a way to keep Liam. Okay, because unlike Canales, who was passed up for 10 years in Seattle, he was taking a job no matter what, no matter how, and he's done a good job. But Liam, I believe they'll make him the highest paid OC and give him a 3-year deal, whatever. He could be the coach, and he could be the next head coach, whatever. But they're not going to. I don't believe they will allow Liam to leave, because I don't know, of all the great jobs out there, the Jets, I don't know, but we'll see. But they're not going to fire Bowles if the Bucs win the division, as you said. I just have a problem that we were 4-6, and that's where it all began. You have to play perfect in order to, you have to win out. So do you think the Bucs win Sunday and the Falcons lose, and then it sets the stage for the last week? What's your thoughts? And I'll hang up and listen.
Well,
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Jim, and Merry Christmas to you and yours. Always great hearing from you. Short answer is, I want to see how this week goes first. I want to see what the injury report looks like. Carolina's not going to be easy. Now, you get them at home, and Carolina probably would love another shot at the Bucs after what happened a couple weeks ago. Chuba Hubbard gets stripped by Anthony Nelson as they're getting in position for a game-winning field goal in overtime. So I think Carolina wants another crack at it, and they're going to be tough. I don't think the Falcons are going to beat the Commandos. Michael Penix has to go on the road now for a second NFL start in a hostile environment. The Commanders just had a big win. Jaden Daniels threw 5 touchdowns. Dan Quinn had that defense playing really big in the second half after Saquon Barkley ran all over him in the first half. So I think there's a chance that the Bucs win and the Falcons lose next week. Let's go back to the phone. Dan is in Eastlake. What's going on, Dan? How are you?
Hi, TKras. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, buddy.
Well, first of all, let me just say it is nice being able to talk to you, and I'll keep it short, TKras. When you lose, you say little. When you win, you save less. But I was gonna say, TKras, it really is a gut punching loss. But hey, we still have 2 weeks to go, and anything could happen. And like I tell you, TKras, we have a 24-hour rule. It sucks, but we have to move on. And who knows what the heck's gonna happen? Like you said, TKras, it's a week-to-week basis, but we'll see what happens. And hopefully we can get healthy. And next week's going to make or break the season, TKras, so we'll see what happens. But, hey, whatever happens, I'm a loyal Bucs fan, and I'm just happy to have you along the way. I hope you have a great holiday week, TKras, and thank you so much for taking my call. You have a good rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next Sunday. Bye-bye. Go Bucs. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Dan. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Look, it's an any given Sunday type of league, more so this year than I can ever remember. I mean, you could expect the unexpected. And somebody just texted in. I'm not sure if this guy was joking. Out of the 813, do you think Atlanta goes back to Cousins for next week? No. No, they're done with Kirk Cousins, dude. They're done. 4 years, $180 million. They gave him $100 million guaranteed. And unless he plays the Bucs, no. Are the Falcons playing the Bucs next week? If they are, then Kirk Cousins is starting. But they're not. Now, they play one of his other former teams next week, but they went to Minnesota, one of his other former teams, and that didn't go well. Kirk Cousins is done. I think the Falcons are done with him. When we come back, more of your calls and texts. We're going to dive inside the numbers. This was a bizarre game in so many ways and instances, and we're going to get into it with you next. It's the Overtime Show, 12:31 now, and on Monday morning, right before Christmas, a lousy early Christmas present by the Buccaneers. They lose in Dallas. More next on the Overtime Show.
Rivard Buick GMC knows the holiday season is upon us, and what better way to celebrate this season and cooler weather than a brand new vehicle at the absolute best price around? While other dealers are increasing prices, Rivard is staying true to their commitment to massive discounts and insane inventory, with rates as low as 0% and discounts like up to $14,000 off new Sierras and up to $12,000 off Yukons. Visit RivardBuickGMC.com today. Rivard Buick GMC, the #2 GMC dealer in the country. GMC, we are professional grade.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a gorgeous piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop this holiday season than International Diamond Center, where making memorable moments is our specialty. At IDC, we've put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. From diamond classics to the newest, most amazing designer fashion-forward jewelry. And to make it even easier to splurge this season, we're offering 5 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase. So that $6,000 Eternity Band is just over $100 a month. With this special offer, everything is affordable. So come to IDC. Let our non-commission experts help you choose that perfect headliner gift for this holiday season. And spread your payments over 5 years. Get holiday store hours, directions, and finance details at shopidc.com.
I'm Keith, founder and owner of International Diamond Center. Here's wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota.
You scaled the sheer cliff face, battling frostbite, running low on oxygen. The wind pierced your skin, and every inch was agony. You reached heights no other human had before, while getting nowhere at airport security. There's more to imagine when you listen. Discover best-selling action titles on Audible.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Text your thoughts to 82945 on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on Alexa.
The Overtime Show rolls on into the wee hours of now Monday, December 23rd. You know what today is, don't you? It's Festivus. And I started off the Overtime Show with the airing of the grievances. Because I got a lot of problems with you freaking people. And I got a lot of problems with how the Buccaneers played. and the lack of urgency in which they displayed here tonight in losing to Dallas 26-24. 2 big turnovers. I mean, we can talk about Todd Bowles, again, mismanaging the clock right at the end of the first half, calling a timeout with 54 seconds left. The defense was awful in the first half. They gave up 243 total yards in that first half. But in the second half, the Cowboys had 74 yards and 3 points. The offense, Jalen McMillan in the end zone, wrestled away. Rachaad White right at the very end where Baker Mayfield's fighting tooth and nail. He's getting hit. His face is turning beet red. He's trying to make a play. He shot puts it off to Rachaad White, who gets it stripped away by Deron Bland. There's your game right there. The offense had an opportunity. He had 2 plays. And then J.J. Russell dropped an interception. Oh, my goodness, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Missed opportunities by the Buccaneers. We hope to have Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield. We're running into some difficulties there. Let's get more of your calls in. Jared is out in Colorado listening through the iHeartRadio app. What's going on, Jared? Happy holidays. What's the weather like out there?
Hey, happy holidays, TKras. It's pretty cold night out here. Pretty sunny days, though, so no snowstorms as of yet. But we're due for Christmas, some snow.
Nice.
But, yeah, man, you've actually alluded to everything I was going to complain about and vent to you. J.J. Russell dropping that interception. I don't know what it is. DBs, the linebackers, they can't catch interceptions. They got brick for hands this year.
Well, that's why they play defense, is because they can't catch the ball.
Exactly. Defense couldn't get off the field at all the first half. I think they got off the field one time the first half. Second half, they made those adjustments, like you said, and they clamped down. And I just want to put something to bed. I mean, like, even Buccaneer Colorado fans are even saying this. Todd Bowles needs to get fired. Todd Bowles did not cause this game to be lost today. McMillan, you've already alluded to it. I'm glad you mentioned it because I thought I was the only one. He could have, wrestled for that ball in the end zone.
You got to want it more, Jared, than the other guy.
Exactly. And then lastly, the Rachaad White, I mean, come on, man. He's holding the ball one-handed and, brings it in his body like a loaf of bread, not securing the ball. And that DB just ripped it out of his hands. And kudos to Baker. He played his ass off. That guy is just the most resilient quarterback we've had probably since Brady. The guy's got cojones, man. That guy just balls out all the time. And the pass rush was just getting after him all day, man. It was right in his face constantly. They didn't have any relief until that hurry-up offense they started running there late in the game. But, hey, we got 2 games left. They're going to be tough. They're division opponents. We still have that opportunity to close it up. Todd Bowles is doing a good job considering, all the injuries we have. Sterling Shepard, he looks like he's injured now, but you got to catch those passes. Put it right in your chest. You got to catch them. But Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you and the rest of the team down there, and go Bucs.
Go Bucs. Thank you, Jared. That's Jared in Colorado. Stay warm out there, listening through the iHeartRadio app, which is new and improved, by the way. So download it, update it. You can scan through stations. You got presets that you can have on the iHeart app. It is a beautiful thing. It's awesome. You got to check it out. Let's go to Nick in Largo. Nick, you're on the Overtime Show. What say you?
Merry New Year.
Happy New Year. In this country, we say Happy New Year. Clarence Beeks.
No, I was talking. You used to say Merry New Year back in the day.
I know.
What a crazy year. I mean, it's just insane.
In more ways than one, Nick.
It's just a roller coaster. I mean, you can't piece it together. It's just insane. It's just up and down everywhere you go. It doesn't make any sense. But it basically comes down to the 3 biggest plays of the game comes down to young players just not making the plays when it's time to shine. They just I mean, lack of better terms, pooped the bed when it was their time to shine. I mean, McMillan, 51, I forget his name, Russell.
J.J. Russell, yeah, and Rashad White.
Yeah, how do you, and hasn't Bucky earned the right to be in the game in those crunch time moments at this point in the season? I mean, why is, I know they put Rashad in there because he can block and all that, whatever.
Correct.
I mean, at the end of the game like that, I mean, come on, man. The dude's a stud. He's been balling. Like, at that point in the game, you got to put your best players in there. I don't know. It's just frustrating because I don't know. And I just think at that point, Bucky he's earned the right to be in there at that point, and I don't know. What do you think?
Well, look, they were in the 2-minute drill, Nick, and I think your concerns are warranted, and thank you for the phone call. Merry Christmas. Rashad White is a really good pass catcher. He's a really good pass blocker, and Dallas was bringing the heat. They were blitzing. That's why he was in the game. And look, he's got to take better care of the ball, and he's had a couple of balls ripped away from him this year. Bucky had one too. In the overtime loss in Atlanta on that Thursday night, he lost a fumble, a really big one. So you would hope that these miscues by Rashad White and Jalen McMillan, these are very young players, like you correctly stated, Nick. You hope that they learn from these mistakes. And the mistake is you got to want it more than the other guy. You got to rip the ball away. It's your ball. It's your lunch money. You can't let the bullies take your lunch money. Ball security is paramount end-of-game situations. When the game is on the line, when playoffs are on the line, and hopefully Rashad White learns that you got to put two hands all the way around the ball because Deron Bland, he's opportunistic. Dude had, 10 interceptions last year? Half of those were pick sixes. You got to be able to protect the ball. And the younger players did not do a good job of it. And it cost them dearly. All right, coming up and around the league update, more of your calls and texts on the Bates Electric DA listener line, 888-546-4620. Really disappointing loss for the Buccaneers, and now they need some help. More next.
The right talent.
The right attitude.
The right game plan. The right amount of fight, pride, and determination. If you've been injured, put our force to work for you. Farah and Farah, here for Tampa, here for good.
There's no gift that's more beautiful, more versatile, and more meaningful than a gorgeous piece of jewelry. And there's no better place to shop this holiday season than International Diamond Center, where making memorable moments is our specialty. At IDC, we've put together our most impressive selection of can't-miss gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands for every taste and every price range. From diamond classics to the newest, most amazing designer fashion-forward jewelry. And to make it even easier to splurge this season, we're offering 5 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase. So that $6,000 Eternity Band is just over $100 a month. With this special offer, everything is affordable. So come to IDC. Let our non-commission experts help you choose that perfect headliner gift for this holiday season. And spread your payments over 5 years. Get holiday store hours, directions, and finance details at shopidc.com.
I'm Keith, founder and owner of International Diamond Center. Here's wishing you and yours a very Merry Christmas.
Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota.
Warmest wishes for a joyous holiday season and a Happy New Year to you. Enjoy your quality time with family and loved ones from your friends at iHeartMedia and Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Streaming on iHeartRadio and live on WDAE. Here's an Around the League update.
And it's brought to you by Root Air Conditioning, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. You know where the Buccaneers stand. They lose. They're 8-7. Hey, the Falcons were like, yeah. The Falcons got a big win at home against the Giants, who stink, by the way. It was Michael Penix's first NFL start, and he didn't have to do a whole lot. Bijan Robinson with 2 touchdown runs, and 2 pick sixes by the Falcons. They win 34-7. So now the Falcons and the Bucs are tied at 8-7 with 2 weeks to go. The Falcons, obviously, by virtue of their head-to-head sweep over the Bucs, now have the advantage, and they control their own destiny. The Falcons visit the Commanders next Sunday night. The Commanders came from behind to beat the Eagles 36-33. Jalen Hurts left with a concussion in that game. Next up for the Buccaneers, they'll be home for Carolina, who beat the Cardinals 36-30 in overtime. They knocked Arizona out of playoff contention. Get reliable cooling and comfort installed by certified Root Pro partner. Go to rootacflorida.com to schedule service today. That's rootacflorida.com. Powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Chat it up live on YouTube by searching WDAE on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
The Overtime Show continues, driven by Bartow Ford. Don't go the wrong way for your next new Aprio vehicle. Go to BartowFord.com. They're different, and they prove it. You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield a little bit later on. Right now, we're hearing from you on the Bates Electric DA listener line, 888-546-4620. Text at 82945 on the Bartow Ford DA text platform. Play of the game, player of the game, all that good stuff is coming up as well. So the Falcons won earlier today. They got 2 pick sixes against the listless and dreadful Giants. Michael Penix, I thought, did a nice job in his first NFL start. Tell you what, man, that ball comes out of his hands with a lot more life and juice than that of Kirk Cousins. When you watched him throw the ball today, you knew why they decided to go to him. Kirk Cousins was holding him back. Had they stayed with Kirk Cousins, I think that would have been good for the Bucs. Unless he's playing the Bucs, Kirk Cousins really has had a bad year altogether. So it was the right move. And now next week, the Falcons go to Washington, or the Washington, D.C. area, Landover, Maryland, whatever. And they'll take on a Commandos team that won their 10th game today. And they came from behind to do it, 36-33. I mean, Saquon Barkley ran wild in the first half against Dan Quinn's defense. And look, Dan Quinn, he put the kibosh on that. The Commandos scored 22 points in the fourth quarter to stun the Eagles today. And that knocked Dallas out of playoff contention. So the Cowboys, going into that game against the Buccaneers, knew that they were out of playoff contention. But if you watched that game and didn't know who was what, you would have thought that the Cowboys were the team that was playing with that sense of urgency, that wanted it more. And they showed it with those 2 turnovers. They were the team that played with a never say die attitude, like there is no tomorrow type of attitude. And I don't think the Buccaneers show that consistently enough. I think Baker Mayfield played his ass off. Let me tell you this, all right? And he took some shots today, and he was in the medical tent. He came out of the medical tent. He's like, I'm fine. I'm going back in there. I'm going to take some more shots. I'm going to take another beating. I'll say this about Baker. He's got balls big enough to come in a dump truck. That dude is tough. He's the toughest dude on this team, bar none. And for some of you who are calling and texting in and tweeting, and this team is soft, that's horse manure. Give me a break. Because Baker Mayfield left it all on the field tonight. And he's the leader of that team. I don't think the Buccaneers are a soft team. Give me a break on that. Corinne is in Tampa. How are you? Welcome in.
Thank you, TKras. I appreciate you, brother. I just got to ask, man, on the days that the Bucs lose games like this, I hope you're getting paid in overtime for doing overtime, because this is a job you have, my friend. My goodness, to cover this game afterwards. But with that said, you know, it was or is or was my birthday, and I was hoping for a gift from the Bucs, and it was tough. And to your point, you know, Baker, just one of the toughest dudes out there. And for him to have to go through what he's going through with that offensive line, the way we were blocking today, the pressure he was facing, and Sterling Shepard dropping some passes and our defense doing what they did, it just is very telling. And TKras, my question to you is, we scored 24 points. We know what victories are conclusive of when we have points on the offense. So when we give up 26 points, that to me is the difference. We can score what we're going to score, but if we can't stop teams like Dallas, it's what are we really fighting for? So to me, as a Bucs fan, I hope we can pull through the last 2 weeks of the season. But my question to you is, is it how many points we're scoring versus the points we're giving up? And is this something that we should be worried about these last 2 weeks in? Because that's kind of where my head's at this time.
Well, I think it's a well thought out question, Corinne, and happy birthday, by the way. Is your birthday today or yesterday?
It was today, the day of the game, and I was hoping for some birthday love, man, for the Bucs. So,
well, maybe next week. You got Christmas coming up, and then maybe next week they can surprise us. Look, it's a week-to-week thing, so the narrative changes, literally changes week after week. I appreciate the call. Happy birthday, and Merry Christmas to you and yours.
You too. Thank you, TKras.
Thank you very much. That's Corinne in Tampa. He's a Sagittarian, just like yours truly. My birthday was on the 7th. A lot of important people are born in the month of December. Me, Corinne there, a lot of other people, Jesus. Here's what I'll say about the Bucs, and look, he made a good point. Is it a point of scoring enough points? I mean, the Buccaneers came into action. Where's my cheat sheet? Almost 29 points per game. They were fourth in the league in scoring. They scored, 24 tonight. Usually if you score 24 points, I think you put yourself in a decent position. When we come back, I'm going to give you the stat of all stats that determines whether the Buccaneers win or lose games, no matter how few points they allow, how many points they score. This is the one stat that I'm going to give you when we come back, and it played itself out to a T tonight. That's coming up next at Overtime.
Attention plumbing, HVAC, and electrical business owners. Tracking KPIs is one of the hardest parts of running a contracting business. Improving KPIs is even harder. Well, ServiceTitan is here to change all that. The smartest contractors are using ServiceTitan's powerful all-in-one software to gain new levels of insights into their operations. ServiceTitan connects the dots in real time to give you a crystal clear picture of your business. From job costs to revenue to employee effectiveness and more. Listen to what some of ServiceTitan's current partners have to say.
We got ServiceTitan as a CRM. It was our 5th CRM, and it was a game changer. I got to tell you.
We've had more million-dollar months on ServiceTitan than we have ever before.
It changed the way that we went to market.
ServiceTitan has really aided us to take us from a small business to an enterprise.
ServiceTitan is not just a software platform. It's the technology partner you need to help your business thrive. Your office will love it. Your technicians will love it. So will your customers. Schedule a demo today at ServiceTitan.com. That's ServiceTitan.com.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. 888-546-4620. On the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the free iHeartRadio app.
The Overtime Show rolls on. Happy Festivus. I got a lot of problems with the Buccaneers and with some of you people out there. So I aired out my grievances. And now it's going to be time for the feats of strength. Like Derek DeBose and I, we're not leaving until he pins me. A la Frank Costanza. I'm just joking. All right, more of your calls coming up on the Bates Electric DA listener line, 888-546-4620. So this big stat that I'm about to give to you. This is the one stat, apparently, that determines what, and when it happened tonight, I'm like, oh, man. I didn't get a good feeling. When the Buccaneers score first this season, they're 8-1. When the opponent scores first, as was the case tonight, the Buccaneers are 0-6. It's that simple, folks. You score first, you win. You don't, you lose. And that's what happened tonight. Now, for the Cowboys, it certainly helps when you have a kicker who's got a freaking bionic leg and Brandon Aubrey who can kick it across the Howard Franklin Bridge, I think. His range is unlimited. Once you get across midfield, I was telling Derek DeBose, they're already in field goal range. What a major weapon it is to have a guy like him. Unbelievable. Tonight, Brandon Aubrey was brilliant. He was 4 of 4 on field goal attempts, and he started it really early. The Cowboys scored first, and when I saw the Cowboys score first, I'm like, oh, no. Cowboys got the ball first. They went right down the field. Cooper Rush was 6 for 6. I mean, they didn't go right down the field. Let me preface it. Let me change that. They didn't go right down the field. Cooper Rush was 6 for 6 on that drive for 21 yards. He threw 3 short passes to CeeDee Lamb. A 3rd and 2, Brandon Cooks made a 5-yard catch. And Brandon Aubrey kicked a 58-yard field goal to put the Cowboys up 3-0. When the Bucs don't score first, they lose. Aubrey had field goals of 58, 49, 58 again, and 53. Dude is unstoppable. All you got to do is get the ball to the opponent's 40, and you're in his range. He's an incredible kicker. The best kicker in the game right now, and I don't think it's close. All right, more of your calls and texts. Play of the game, player of the game, Baker Mayfield, game rewind, all coming up. This is the Overtime Show after a frustrating Buccaneer loss on primetime.
The Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship races into Tampa Bay. Here we go! Witness intense competition as the world's elite riders battle for the coveted title of Supercross Champion. Tickets on sale now. Coming to Raymond James Stadium February 8th. Visit supercrosslive.com.
TKras here for my friends over at CMK Construction, where we've always believed that home is where the heart is. And this holiday season, after all the storms we've been through, it's the heart that brings us all together. From remodeling kitchens and bathrooms to refreshing spaces that matter most to you, we are committing to help you restore your home bigger and better and stronger than ever before. They've been doing this for 20 years, luxury products, quality install, and they've been recognized for it. Voted the #1 kitchen and bathroom remodeling company, according to readers of the Tampa Bay Times People's Choice Best of the Best Awards. Whether it's simply lending that helping hand or transforming your home, call on my guys over at CMK Construction, where for over 20 years, they take pride in the same neighborhoods we call home. So give them a call. Let's rise together, remodel together, and move forward together hand in hand. CMK Construction, proudly serving Tampa Bay and Sarasota communities. Call them 813-321-4426 or online at cmkconstructioninc.com. Together, we'll make tomorrow brighter.
The Michigan Wolverines, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The most iconic names in college football collide. The ReliaQuest Bowl, a rare matchup of the winningest teams in college football history, hits Tampa Bay. Noon, New Year's Eve, Raymond James Stadium. ReliaQuest Bowl, Michigan versus Alabama. It doesn't get any better than this. Ticketmaster now.
Warmest wishes for a joyous holiday season and a happy new year to you. Enjoy your quality time with family and loved ones from your friends at iHeartMedia and Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys.
Everything Tampa Bay sports. We are 95.3 W237CW Pinellas Park, WRUB HD3 Clearwater, and the mighty AM 620 WDAE St. Petersburg, an iHeart radio station. This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Text your thoughts to 82945 on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on Alexa.
Closing in on the 1 o'clock hour on this Monday now, December the 23rd. Happy Festivus. It's the Overtime Show. Really gut-wrenching loss for the Buccaneers, 26-24. Dallas wins it. The Cowboys were a much more physical team. They wanted it more. Buccaneers turned it over twice. No turnovers for the Dallas Cowboys, and that was a big difference in the game. You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield, player of the game, a little bit later on. But we finally have him. Let's go back to AT&T Stadium. Standing by, Todd Bowles in his post-game press conference. Here's what he had to say after this frustrating loss.
I know that was a tough one for you. Just gut reaction. How are you feeling right now about how things happened?
I mean, we lost. It's disappointing. All three phases plus coaching. We got to coach it better. We got to play better on special teams. We got to play better offensively and defensively.
It seemed like this defense had taken several steps forward, being able to eliminate a lot of those deep pass plays, and obviously with a guy like CeeDee Lamb, that's difficult to do. But what do you think was the kind of the big culprit tonight? What was the big reason for why you guys had a lot of those 20-plus yard pass plays?
Fundamentals. It happened in the first half. It was fundamentals. Second half, we kind of calmed it down some. But fundamental and technique, that's all it is.
What about tackling? Why do you think tackling was such an issue tonight?
It's fundamentals. It's fundamental. Tackling in the first half was not very good. It was better in the second half.
Yeah, it looked like CeeDee Lamb kind of got going really early in the game, but you were able to kind of slow him down a bit there in the second half. What allowed you to do so?
We didn't tackle well in the first half, obviously. Second half, he wasn't in half the time, but we kind of settled down and kind of played our type of ball game. We're getting them off the field.
In the secondary for the first half, did you find some miscommunications between the back end?
It wasn't miscommunication. We just didn't make any plays.
Do you have an update on Sterling Shepard? He's out from the game, seemed hamstring.
Not at this time.
How much do you think this offense missed K-Dot? And I know Payne Durham stepped up and he made it multiple plays, but just how much did they miss a guy like Cade, who's been very consistent for you the last couple of years?
You always miss a starter, but that had nothing to do with the ball game. We had more than enough guys over there to win the ball game.
I know lost fumbles and turnovers in general have been an issue, but what can you guys do to correct the lost fumbles in particular?
Got to hold on to the ball. We got to hold on to the ball. Ball security is the number one thing.
Is that just a matter of, like, in the end of the game, Rashad just trying to do too much?
It's a matter of holding on to the football.
What was your message to the team in the locker room afterward?
None you.
We lost. We fell back in the pack. We got to eat it. Can't spend too much time on it. We had our chances. Just like everybody else, but it's a long season. We got 2 more games to go. We got to take care of us and then let everything else take care of itself.
Being able to see how you're
Todd Bowles, post-game presser here on the Overtime Show. This is WDAE.
But they did allow a lot of underneath stuff in the passing game. Was that something that you wanted to stop the big plays and explosive plays during this game, or was that just something they were able to notice against the defense?
No, it's something they do all the time anyway. We understand the ball is going to be thrown underneath. We just got to tackle better.
What do you think the issue was with the pass rush not quite getting to Cooper and allowing him to kind of step into those throws the way he did?
Well, most of it, a lot of quick game. On the other throws, we were in some zones and we got close enough, but we should have had coverage on a couple of them.
I know earlier in the season, kind of the middle of the field at times was vulnerable, and it seemed like that kind of reared its ugly head a little bit today. What do you think the reason for that was? Was that just a function of the missed tackles or miscommunication? Or
I don't think it reared its ugly head from the middle of the field. I thought in the first half we gave up 2 over routes, and I thought we missed a tackle on CeeDee down in the red zone for 1 touchdown. It was either 2 or 3 guys that missed him. Shored it up a little bit in the second half.
And to that point, is that, I guess, the silver lining in this, the fact that the defense was able to correct some of those errors in the second half?
It's no silver lining. We didn't win the ball game. We got to play better in all phases.
That's Todd Bowles meeting with the media after the game. He said the tackling was bad in the first half, better in the second half. Agreed. He said there were no miscommunication issues. They just couldn't tackle anybody. Second half, they tightened things up. They weren't blitzing as much. In the first half, they tried to blitz, and look, credit Cooper Rush. He was getting it out quick. But the Cowboys, by my count, had less than 75 yards of offense in the second half. So the Buck defense tightened it up. The big difference was what was happening offensively. A lot of you want to complain, but this defense stinks. Todd Bowles is going to get fired. Wrong. The only way Bowles gets into some trouble, and somebody texted him before, is if he doesn't win another game the rest of the year. Like if they lose next week and the week after to Carolina and New Orleans, both at home, both divisional rivals, if they go 8-9 and miss the playoffs, yeah, I think there's a discussion. But if they win one of those two games, if they finish 9-8, he's not getting fired. Sorry to burst your bubble. All right, when we come back, who was the player of the game? We're going to let you know in 2 minutes here on Overtime.
Want to make this the most unforgettable Christmas? International Diamond Center is here to help with our most dazzling selection ever and 5 years zero-interest financing. Imagine the look in her eyes opening that box, seeing an elegant diamond tennis bracelet or a stunning pair of diamond earrings. IDC showcases are fully stocked with the classics, as well as the latest one-of-a-kind fashion jewelry from world-class designers. Unique, handcrafted items you can't find anywhere else. And relax. Our non-commissioned experts will guide you, respecting your price range and offering tips on can't-miss gifts for this season. You'll get the unbeatable value price IDC is known for. Plus, spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. This year, give the gift that sends the message of love like nothing else. A meaningful and memorable piece of jewelry from International Diamond Center. Get holiday store hours, directions, and more at shopidc.com.
I'm Keith, founder and owner of International Diamond Center. Merry Christmas from all of us at IDC.
Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota.
Who stood out among the rest? This is today's player of the game, live on Overtime.
So Aubrey will try another one. He started the half with a 58-yard make. And Aubrey ends the half with a 58-yard make.
The great Mike Tirico with the call. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Brandon Aubrey, what a weapon. That 58-yard field goal closed out the first half, gave the Cowboys a 23-14 lead. Aubrey with 4 field goals. He was 4 of 4 from field goals on this night. 58, 49, 58, and 53 yards. Brandon Aubrey, Cowboys kicker, your player of the game. And the Cowboys won, by the way, by 2 points. And somebody texted in, you must have been late to the show because I addressed this already. And nobody asked Todd Bowles in the post-game presser. There was only like 2 reporters there. I thought Todd Bowles made a big mistake at the end of the first half when he called that timeout with 54 seconds left. The Buccaneers got the ball down to the 10-yard line of Dallas. You have plenty of time. There's no need for you to call a timeout so that you can help Dallas out. And that's exactly what the Buccaneers did, because they were able to score on the 11-yard touchdown from Baker Mayfield to Jalen McMillan. That made it 20-14. But Dallas had plenty of time and a couple of timeouts. They got themselves in position, 6 plays, 30 yards. That's all you need is 30 yards of offense to get in position for a Brandon Aubrey field goal. As long as you're on the grounds of AT&T Stadium in their parking lot somewhere, you're in field goal range. And I just thought that was a miscalculation, another bad job of managing the clock if you're Todd Bowles. There's no need for you to call a timeout there. You got plenty of time. You're at the 10-yard line, for crying out loud. And that is a problem that I do have with Todd Bowles. I do have problems with him. Game management, how he misuses timeouts, bad. Not going for 2 in Kansas City, bad. And I've said that. I haven't tirelessly defended Bowles the way some of you claim that I have. You guys got rocks in your head. Listen. It helps when you listen. When we come back, another Around the League update, which you know I love. It is 1:08 here on a manic Monday morning. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What are their playoff chances now? More next.
Here's a question for all the plumbing, HVAC, and electrical contractor owners out there from your future friends at Service Titan. Are you using 4, 5, 6, or more software solutions to run your commercial contracting business, not one of which truly understands the unique challenges of your industry? If this hits close to home, we have good news. There's a better way to do things. Service Titan is the all-in-one software solution that seamlessly integrates all parts of your commercial service and construction operation. From service agreements to proposal builders to project tracking, job costing, inventory, and more. Developed specifically for the trades, Service Titan can help you scale effortlessly and operate more efficiently while delivering the modern user experience your customers expect. Forget using and, more importantly, paying for multiple software products that don't play nice with each other and give you an incomplete view of profitability. Service Titan is the better way to do business. Schedule a demo today at servicetitan.com. That's servicetitan.com.
Streaming on iHeartRadio and live on WDAE. Here's an Around the League update.
And it's brought to you by Root Air Conditioning, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. Buccaneers lose to the Cowboys, and the Falcons were loving that because they were able to win. And Michael Penix's first NFL start at home, they beat up on the Giants, who were just awful. 34-7 was the final score. Penix, in his first NFL game, he showed a lot of poise. The ball came out of his hands in a lively manner. He was 18 of 27 for over 200 yards. He did throw an interception, was not his fault. Kyle Pitts had to go off his hands. 2 touchdown runs by Bijan Robinson and 2 defensive touchdowns by the Falcons. So the Falcons are in the driver's seat. They now control their own destiny in the NFC South. If they win their last 2 games, they win. It doesn't matter what the Bucs do. Now, the Falcons will visit the Commanders next Sunday night. The Commandos won their 10th game today, and they did it in dramatic fashion. They scored 22 points in the fourth quarter, and they stunned the Eagles 36-33. Jalen Hurts left the game with a concussion. Jaden Daniels with 5 touchdown passes. The Buccaneers' next opponent is a team that's playing well. Carolina at home today knocked Arizona out of the playoffs with a 36-30 overtime win. Get reliable cooling and comfort installed by a certified Root Pro partner. Go to rootacflorida.com to schedule service today. That's rootacflorida.com, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. Chat it up live on YouTube by searching WDAE on the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
The Overtime Show continues, driven by Bartow Ford. Don't go the wrong way for your next new or pre-owned vehicle. Go to bartowford.com. They're different, and they prove it. Still taking calls if anyone out there is still awake or conscious at 1:12 here on a Monday morning on the Bates Electric DA listener line. And Buccaneer John, you don't count. 888-546-4620. That's the phone number. Text at 82945. Somebody was asking why the reporters asked Todd Bowles about injuries. Well, you got to ask the question because sometimes you do get an update. But Todd Bowles said no update on Sterling Shepard, who left with a hamstring injury. That did not look good. I'd be surprised if he plays next week. So that means Jalen McMillan, who had the ball wrestled away. There was some good Jalen and bad Jalen tonight. Good Jalen, he caught that touchdown pass right at the end of the first half. Bad Jalen, obviously, on the deep ball. He let Jordan Lewis wrestle it away from him. 5 catches, 57 yards, and a touchdown on 7 targets. Mike Evans targeted 8 times, had 5 for 69. And Mike had just 1 catch in the second half. Credit Mike Zimmer, defensive coordinator, because he had a safety right over the top. He had Deron Bland straight up on Mike, and the safety, Donovan Wilson, was over the top every single play. They took Mike out of it. They're like, listen, Baker, you're going to come down the field on us. You better throw it to some of these other youngsters because we're not letting Mike Evans beat us. CeeDee Lamb on the other side, 7 for 105. Gutsy effort basically playing on one shoulder because his right shoulder was really bothering him. He landed on that shoulder at one point, but he played a really big game. And Micah Parsons had a sack, a forced fumble, 5 tackles. I mean, he was a factor. He wasn't a dominant factor. Baker was sacked 4 times tonight, and Micah had 1 of the 4 sacks. And the Buccaneers had only 1 sack of Cooper Rush. He was getting it out of his hands quick. Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey split that 1 sack, and the Bucs need to add more pressure. They cannot get pressure from their front 4, and that's part of the problem. Todd Bowles has to blitz. And if he doesn't blitz, they don't get home. That's simple. All right, when we come back, more of your calls, a look ahead. You got the play of the game. That's coming up, as well as Baker Mayfield's press conference. It's the Overtime Show. TKras here from my friends over at CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. After a long year, certainly in the aftermath of the storms, a lot of you may be looking to remodel, refurbish, or reconstruct or rebuild your kitchen or your bathrooms, and there's only one company you should trust to do it. CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. They've been at this for 20 years. Luxury products, quality install. They can help you consult, design, or build the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. They do great high-end work, and they've been recognized for it. Voted the #1 kitchen and bathroom remodeling company for the 4th year in a row, guys, according to readers of the Tampa Bay Times People's Choice Best of the Best Awards. So give them a call. Tell them I sent you. CMK Construction is more than welcome to talk to you. 813-321-4426. That's 813-321-4426. Or hit them up online at cmkconstructioninc.com. CMK Construction, the kitchen and bath experts. Tell them TKras sent you.
Football's heating up. The NBA is back. And on Hard Rock Bet, you can bet every sport. Even combine all your sports into one bet. One Florida bettor put $50 on a combo parlay and won more than $100,000. And they tacked on another $10,000 to that win with a daily profit boost. Promos every day for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
What's the Anajar and Levine difference? If you're the victim of a car crash, you will always speak to a lawyer. You'll always get the highest standard of care from our dedicated legal team, and we'll always fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't wait. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Tampa. This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. 888-546-4620. On the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the free iHeartRadio app.
2 weeks to go in the NFL season. Buccaneers at 8-7. Falcons are at 8-7. Today could not have gone any better for the Atlanta Falcons. They made the ballsy move of benching Kirk Cousins, whom they gave $100 million guaranteed to go to the number 8 overall pick, Michael Penix, the kid from Tampa Bay. And it paid off in a big way. They beat the Giants, and look, that's really nothing to write home about. And they did it mostly with defense. 2 defensive touchdowns, Bijan Robinson with 2 touchdown runs, and they win 34-7. And the Falcons sat back, and they were rooting hard for Dallas, boy. Da-da-da-da-da, charge. And they got an early Christmas present from the Dallas Cowboys, who beat the Buccaneers 26-24. So, 2 weeks ago, the Falcons now control their own destiny, and the Buccaneers do not. They're both 8-7. The Falcons win their last 2. They win this division, hands down. The Bucs need help. I don't think the Falcons are going to win their last 2. I think they're going to split. Now the question becomes, can the Buccaneers win their last 2 and wrestle this division title away from Atlanta? Carolina next week will not be easy. And they played some really good ball over the last month. They should have beaten the Buccaneers in overtime a couple of weeks ago. Adam Thielen and Bryce Young have a really good connection going. The defense is starting to play better. They're getting pressure on the quarterback. They beat Arizona today in overtime, knocked them out of the playoffs, and they would want nothing more than to knock the Bucs or the Falcons out of the playoffs. So don't forget, Atlanta gets Carolina the last week of the season. So Carolina plays the Bucs next week, and they play the Falcons the week after that. So Carolina may very well determine who wins the NFC South. All right, when we come back, the biggest play of tonight's game, you're going to hear about it next here on the Overtime Show.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of diamonds. A diamond pendant, a diamond anniversary band, a pair of diamond earrings. And around here, the holiday diamond destination is International Diamond Center. With our decades of experience, worldwide connections, and our legendary value, IDC is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Can't miss gifts with lasting value and beauty. From elegant diamond stud earrings to stunning new creations from our exclusive world-class designers. And now through the end of December, you can enjoy 5 years, zero-interest financing on any holiday purchase. Also, if you're planning an engagement this holiday season, this special finance offer includes all our designer engagement rings. Say I love you louder than ever this holiday with the gift of diamonds from International Diamond Center. Get holiday store hours, directions, and more at shopidc.com.
I'm Keith, founder and owner of International Diamond Center. Merry Christmas from our family to yours.
Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota.
Play big, let's go. The moment that stood out above them all. This is today's play of the game, presented by Wesley Chapel Lexus. Live, let's go, on Overtime.
Loving the pressure, showing the pressure. Here it comes in the back. Jordan Lewis got there. Mayfield pitches it forward. Somehow he got it to White. Rashad White gets a gain out of that. The ball taken away by the Cowboys. White was on the way down into Rob Bland. Took it away. Incredible.
Running on the field. The fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Dallas.
Wow, that was incredible. Mike Tirico with a great call on NBC Sunday Night Football alongside Chris Collinsworth, and that was the play of the game. Buccaneers had one final drive, down 2 points. They had the ball with 1:40 left at their own 26, and on the first play, Baker Mayfield's blitzed. Jordan Lewis got to him, wrapped Baker up. Baker somehow got the ball off to Rashad White, who had the ball stripped away by Deron Bland, and that was all she wrote. That was today's play of the game, presented by Wesley Chapel Lexus. When you think Lexus, think Wesley Chapel Lexus, home of the exclusive Lexus Lifetime Plan and the largest Lexus dealer on Florida's West Coast. Hit them up online, wesleychapelexus.com. 888-546-4620. Oh, we got a call here. JT is up in Lutz here in the wee hours of Monday morning. JT, welcome in.
Well, I love that you call me JT, but it's actually TJ.
Oh, TJ, I'm sorry. It said JT. TJ, welcome in, buddy.
No, it's all good. No, I think you nailed it on the head. That play.
TJ, you can't do that, buddy. I appreciate the phone call. When we come back, you're going to hear from Baker Mayfield. Bruised, battered. He took a beating tonight. What did he have to say about this excruciating loss? You're going to hear from Baker Mayfield, his post-game presser next.
Attention plumbing, HVAC, and electrical business owners. Tracking KPIs is one of the hardest parts of running a contracting business. Improving KPIs is even harder. Well, Service Titan is here to change all that. The smartest contractors are using Service Titan's powerful all-in-one software to gain new levels of insights into their operations. Service Titan connects the dots in real time to give you a crystal clear picture of your business, from job costs to revenue to employee effectiveness and more. Listen to what some of Service Titan's current partners have to say.
We got Service Titan as a CRM. It was our 5th CRM, and it was a game changer. I got to tell you.
We've had more million-dollar months on Service Titan than we have ever before.
It changed the way that we went to market.
Service Titan has really aided us to take us from a small business to an enterprise.
Service Titan is not just a software platform. It's the technology partner you need to help your business thrive. Your office will love it. Your technicians will love it. So will your customers. Schedule a demo today at servicetitan.com. That's servicetitan.com.
This is the first word from the locker room, presented by Pitch Roofing. Roofing done right. Live on Overtime.
Hi, welcome back. It is the Overtime Show in the wee hours of Monday morning after a frustrating Buccaneer loss as the Cowboys win it 26-24. Buccaneers dropped to 8-7 on the season. And the Cowboys, believe it or not, are 7-8 on the season. That was only their second home win of 2024. And that's the other part of this, which is hard to wrap your head around. The Dallas Cowboys' two home wins have been to the Giants and now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Giants, who are terrible. The Giants got pummeled today by the Falcons, of all teams. Baker Mayfield, I'm telling you, man, he's got balls big enough to come in a dump truck. He fought his ass off today. Bruised, battered, hurt his hand too. Was part of that crazy play, the Rachaad White fumble right at the very end. He fought till the bitter end. He deserved a better fate. What did he have to say about today's game? Let's hear from Baker Mayfield. And today's in the locker room, presented by Pitch Roofing, roofing done right. Here's Baker.
I mean, he had two hands on the ball. It's just obviously you got to be careful. Not to beat a dead horse, but it's only the same thing happened to me earlier in the game. I got it ripped out of my hands, both of my hands. They made some plays when it mattered, and that's it's all about the ball, and they did a good job taking it away.
Sterling had to take a knee during the game. What did you see from the rest of the wide receiver unit?
Those guys stepped up in a huge way, and I say that because it was a lot of 2-minute situations where getting lined up quickly, guys having to know what they're doing. So those guys, they executed for the most part really, really well in that scenario.
And even though this game didn't end the way that you would have hoped, the fact that this offense continues to be in position to win these games at the end, you guys can make drives when it matters. What does that say about the fight that is in this team?
I said it all along. This group will not quit, and I'll be damned if anybody does. That's the standard that we try and set. It'd be nice to not have to be in that situation if we would have taken care of business earlier in the game, but it comes down to little things late in the game and trying to execute, and gave ourselves a chance. And defense gave us a chance as well. So we just got to execute.
In these games, you win or you learn. What do you think you learned about your team tonight?
I didn't learn anything new about the fight that we have. It's never been a question. For me, it's next man up mentality. Overall, it's about the ball. I think everybody needs to learn that. It's obvious, I know, but even when you have two hands on it, got to be overprotective with it, and that starts with me too.
Mike Evans is such a big contributor to this offense, and he had a huge week this past week. What were they doing to kind of limit his production tonight? He was still productive, but not what he had last week.
Yeah, just on some of the shots, they were covering him up. Some of the down the field explosive plays that we tried to dial up for him, they were covering up pretty well. Obviously, he made a great catch on the one-on-one go ball earlier in the game. But yeah, they were typical. What teams do, roll a safety over the top, try and press him up a little bit and take two guys to take him away, but that's why other guys had good opportunities.
Baker, 2 games left, a little bit of a
Baker Mayfield post-game presser here on WDAE.
We're in playoff mode. we got to take care of business or else we have no shot. So it's this one, you got to take it on the chin. Short week, Christmas week, and we got to focus on Carolina and figure out a way to win.
I couldn't have said it better. You're in playoff mode, but they should have been in playoff mode tonight. I know Baker was. He was doing whatever it took. I just don't think that the other guys did. Especially the young guys. The two guys who made the critical mistakes on the turnovers were young players who don't understand the magnitude of these games. I know Baker does. I know Mike Evans does. I know Tristan Wirfs does. I know Levante David does. Vita Vea certainly does. I thought he played a really good game. But the two critical mistakes were made by the two young guys who don't quite understand the enormity of the position that they're in. You're fighting for your playoff lives. They did not show the sense of urgency. They did not put two hands around the ball. And Dallas wrestled the ball and the game away from them. When we come back, an Around the League update and the game rewind that is coming up next.
The Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship races into Tampa Bay.
Here we go!
Witness intense competition as the world's elite riders battle for the coveted title of Supercross Champion. Tickets on sale now. Coming to Raymond James Stadium February 8th. Visit supercrosslive.com.
I'm Mark Anajar.
I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Tampa.
The Michigan Wolverines, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. The most iconic names in college football collide. The ReliaQuest Bowl, a rare matchup of the winningest teams in college football history, hits Tampa Bay. Noon, New Year's Eve, Raymond James Stadium. ReliaQuest Bowl, Michigan versus Alabama. It doesn't get any better than this. Ticketmaster now.
Your brain holds all the pathways to memories, to dreams, the very essence of your human spirit. At AdventHealth Brain and Spine Institute, our experts protect those pathways. With state-of-the-art technology and groundbreaking treatments, we care for the most complex neurological conditions, so you can keep moving, keep dreaming, keep being your whole self. AdventHealth. Feel whole. Visit thebrainandspineexperts.com.
At Farah & Farah, no matter if you're working on a case worth $5,000 or a case worth $5 million, you give that case the attention it deserves. Because to the client, that's their big case. Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good. Tampa.
Streaming on iHeartRadio and live on WDAE. Here's an Around the League update.
And it's brought to you by Root Air Conditioning, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. Cowboys beat the Bucs 26-24. Falcons got the win over the Giants. So Atlanta now controls their own destiny with 2 weeks to go. Atlanta will be at Washington next Sunday night. How about the Commandos? 10 wins this season. They got their 10th win with a big 36-33 comeback win over the Eagles. They scored 22 points in that fourth quarter. Jaden Daniels with 5 touchdown passes. Next up for the Buccaneers, they'll be home for Carolina next Sunday at 1 o'clock. The Panthers knocked the Arizona Cardinals out of playoff contention as they win at 36-30. Chuba Hubbard, 25 carries, 152 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Get reliable cooling and comfort installed by certified Root Pro partner. Go to rootacflorida.com to schedule your service today. That's rootacflorida.com, powered locally by Ferguson HVAC. Time for the highlights.
Here we go, boys. Let's break out the tape. Here's today's Game Day Rewind, live on Overtime.
He's made 360-plus yards. This is 58 for Brandon Aubrey. He's got the leg, and he's accurate. Brandon Aubrey has made the 58-yard field goal look like a free throw. He's just been fabulous. That his 12th 50-plus yarder of the year. And from 58, get a couple of first downs and get a field goal. Put the Cowboys on top. fires it. 39, he got a peek. Rush hangs in. Fires end zone touchdown. Talbot the toes down. Holds onto the ball. And Dallas jumps out with back-to-back scores. They go from the 2 right back to Irving. That time Golston couldn't bring him down. And Irving breaks a tackle again and scores a touchdown. 49-yard field goal attempt for Aubrey. And he cures another one. 34 field goals on the season. Dallas responds to the touchdown with a field goal. Leading by 6. Wiped away Ezekiel Elliott in the game for the Cowboys. Zeke's got it. Elliott, touchdown Dallas. Millen in motion. Mayfield dancing. Throwing on the run. For McMillan. Touchdown Tampa Bay. The rookie keeps coming on. McMillan the touchdown. And the Bucs respond. So Aubrey will try another one. He started the half with a 58-yard make. And Aubrey ends the half with a 58-yard make. You see the 7th made field goal in this half of 55 yards. Most of the season, this one's from 53. And yet another one. 14 50-plus yard field goals. Breaks the tie with Houston's Tommy Fairbairn. Only missed 2 this year from 45. McLaughlin knocks it through. And each team's added 3 here in the 3rd. Half minute to go. The Dallas lead is not. Marked it at the 46. It's a gain of 27. Mayfield now. Shot down the field. It's McMillan. He got it. No, picked off by Lewis. Lewis fought him for it and took it away. Jordan Lewis, the interception. Empty backfield. Cowboys bring pressure. Mayfield firing. End zone touchdown. Ryan Miller. That one against the Chiefs. Has one against the Cowboys. And the Bucs are alive with 2:36 to go. Look at the pressure. Showing the pressure. Here it comes from the back. Jordan Lewis got there. Mayfield pitches it forward. Somehow he got it to White. Rashad White gets a gain out of that. The ball taken away by the Cowboys. White was on the way down into Rob Bland. Took it away. Incredible.
Rolling on the field. The fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Dallas.
Just an insane sequence to end that game. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth with the call. NBC Sunday Night Football. Cowboys win it 26-24. All right, when we come back, final thoughts. I'm going to give you an update on what it will take for Mike Evans to get to 1,000 yards and update of playoff scenarios as well. This might be over next weekend. I'll explain next here on Overtime.
If you're watching football this season, you know anything can happen. And on Hard Rock Bet, we mean anything. One fan in South Florida turned a $1 touchdown parlay into a $40,000 payday. Hard Rock Bet has parlays for days. With flex parlays, now you can even miss a few picks and still get paid. Parlays for every kind of play. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. When your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Tampa.
This is Overtime, driven by Bartow Ford. Taking your reaction now. 888-546-4620. On the home of the best Bucs coverage across Tampa Bay. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Streaming live on the free iHeartRadio app.
Tough night for the Buccaneers. Early Christmas present delivered by the Cowboys to the Atlanta Falcons. Cowboys beat the Bucs. Falcons earlier today beat up on the Giants. So 2 games left. They're both 8-7. And look, the Buccaneers are still very much in it. The Falcons have a difficult task next week They have to go to Washington to take on a Commanders team that won in dramatic fashion today, a 10-win Commanders team. So the Falcons, with a rookie quarterback of Michael Penix, have to go on the road. Not easy. So they've got the tougher matchup. The Buccaneers return home. They'll be home for the last 2 weeks, home for Carolina next Sunday, and then home for New Orleans the Sunday after that. Now, it might end next weekend. Because if the Bucs lose to Carolina, and Carolina should have beat them a couple weeks ago, Carolina's playing well. Don't look at their 4-11 record. That's misleading. Bryce Young, and I watched him today, man, oh man, he's throwing with tremendous accuracy. He looks like the Bryce Young that was lighting it up on the college scene. He looks confident. He looks poised. He's accurate. He took some shots today. He hung in the pocket and made some big throws, accurate throws. Defense is coming around. Chuba Hubbard had a big game. This is not going to be an easy game. The Buccaneers are going to be banged up coming out of this game. Sterling Shepard with the hamstring. I'm sure there's going to be some other injuries. Tristan Wirfs got banged up. He tweaked his ankle a little bit. But if the Bucs lose to Carolina next Sunday and the Falcons win, the Falcons will clinch the NFC South. The Buccaneers cannot clinch the division next week. But the Falcons can if they win and the Bucs lose. And Carolina is going to be a major player in all of this. They play the Bucs next week, and then they play the Falcons the week after that. Final regular season week. Mike Evans, by the way, he was doing so well. Tonight, 5 catches, 69 yards. So he fell behind the pace, but Mike is going to be back home. He ripped Carolina a couple of weeks ago. New Orleans doesn't have Marshawn Lattimore anymore. Mike Evans needs 182 yards to get to 1,000 yards receiving. So he needs to average 91 yards per game over the last 2. I think Mike can get there. Absolutely. You just hope that Liam Cohen can do some things to free him up, because Mike Zimmer, Dallas's defensive coordinator, did a great job. He had safety help over the top. They were doubling down on Mike. And you're going to see, I'm sure, Carolina do that next week with J.C. Horn and a safety over the top. Saints will do that final week of the regular season. You've got to figure out a way to get Mike free. Line him up in the slot. I know they don't really send him in motion a whole lot. They like to line him up in a certain place and have him get off the line of scrimmage. But you got to get creative if you're Liam Cohen, who, probably didn't do himself any favors today. It wasn't one of his best called games. The screen pass was working well. It was working really well. They kept going back to it because the Cowboys couldn't really defend it all that well. But it's time to knuckle up if you're the Bucs. The playoffs should have already been underway. Now it starts. You got a playoff game next week against Carolina and another one the week after that against New Orleans. If you win out, maybe you get something that bounces your way and you manage to get into the playoffs once again. And there's a slight chance, ever so slight, that the Buccaneers could get in as the 7th seed. There is a scenario out there. So if the Falcons beat the Commandos next week, the Commandos would have to lose again in week 18. The Buccaneers have the head-to-head with the Commandos. They could both finish 10-7, and you could have a scenario where the Commanders are 10-7, the Bucs are 10-7, the Falcons 10-7, and maybe all 3 teams get in. But the Commandos would have to lose their last 2, and the Bucs would have to win their last 2. So there are a lot of scenarios out there. But the playoffs start now. They must beat Carolina next week, or else it is over, McMahon. I want to thank all of you for calling in, texting in, listening in until the wee hours of the morning. Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you, but I will be back tomorrow, later on today. The drive begins at 3 o'clock. It'll be my only show of the week, the last one before Christmas. But Derek DeBose, I'm Tom Krasnicki. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everyone. Good night. You're dismissed.